Hello and welcome to Fitscope. My name is Alessandra and I'll be guiding you through a 25-minute cyclist sequence. So if you've been tuning into the other classes on this app, there's a lot of spinning, and if you've been doing those spinning classes, that is awesome. Such good work for your knees and just cardio, and it's awesome. Spinning, cycling also can tighten up certain areas of the body, so we're just going to focus on the areas that tend to get tight. Chest, shoulders, because we're doing this. Frontal hip flexors, especially side hips, stabilizing you to stay on the bike. So we're going to work on all of those things today. I encourage you to I have two blankets, one on the other, stacked here that I've already set up lengthwise on my mat. I'm going to lie back on this. If you don't have two blankets, like a nice big pillow could work as well, or just two big towels that you roll up or fold in this way. I also have two blocks. If you don't have two blocks, that's okay. You will manage without it. That's totally fine. Maybe have big books handy that replicate the size of these. Again, if you don't have that, we will manage without. I do recommend highly that you have a strap. This can be easily replicated with a bathrobe strap or a belt. So have that handy. We're going to start lying down in a supported back bend, right, to open up through the chest, this area that tends to get closed off, not just through spinning, but through everything. So your seat is going to be off of those neatly stacked blankets or towels or pillow, and you're going to just lie back. Just lie back so your seat is off the blanket, and any variation with your legs. If you want to start opening up the hips a little bit, you can bring the bottoms of your feet together and bring the knees out to the sides. If you want to take this leg variation and it feels very taxing, like it's a lot, but you want to work on that, you can bring two blocks or books and have them underneath your thighs just to support your knees. You can also just extend through the legs, have the legs bent, whatever you'd like. Whatever position you can be in just for a couple of breaths. So even though it's just 25 minutes, we take a couple of moments just to get centered, to arrive, right? Find stillness. Have the eyes closed if that feels okay. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Start to open up through the chest. And finding total relaxation from head to toe. And starting to bring your awareness to your breath. And as you bring your awareness to your breath, you maybe start to introduce an ujjayi breath. It can be a very soothing breath to use. It's the base of the throat breath. Comes in and out through your nose, like you would fog up a pair of glasses, but your mouth is closed. Just take a couple of more breaths here, starting to open up through the chest. Allow the breath to expand the chest even more. And then with the help of your hands, if the knees are out to the sides, go ahead and gather the legs back together. Gently roll off of these blankets. You can roll off to your left side, extending the left arm back. Press yourself up. Move the blankets out of the way, please. And come to lie back down without the blankets. And it might be interesting to feel the imprint of the blankets back behind you. Like there's already this opening through your chest happening. Just gently hug your knees in towards your chest. As you hug your knees in towards your chest, bring one knee in each hand and move the knees around in circles a little bit. Just trying to get into the hips a little bit. They tend to get so tight, not just as a cyclist, but in life. Just getting into the hips a little bit here. And then keep your right knee hugged in. Plant your left foot onto the mat, please. Grab a hold of your strap and hook the ball of that right foot. So have it really be on the ball of the foot. Start to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Any amount. It doesn't have to come all the way straight. Any amount to where you start to feel something in the hamstring, right? So area that tends to get very tight in those active lifestyles. Even if you're really sedentary, it gets really tight. Reaching through that right heel, bringing that leg closer to your face if you need more of a hamstring stretch, maybe further away from the body if you'd like. then take both ends of that strap into your right hand, please. Float your left knee in line with your right. Keep like a right angle with that left leg. Start to open up the legs out to the sides. So trying to open them up to the same degree. Keep reaching through your right heel. You can bring your left hand to your inner left thigh, just opening up the legs. Breathing into where you feel this, flexing through both feet. The back of the pelvis is even on the mat. Take 2 more breaths here. Gently bring the legs back together. Plant the left foot onto the mat. Let's turn this into thread the needle, turning the leg out 45 degrees from deep within the hip socket. Crossing that ankle over the left thigh, moving the strap out of the way. And choosing to stay here, perhaps, you can gently press your right knee away from your chest. Maybe you feel plenty in the outer hip, depending on the tightness there. If you want to go deeper, bring the left knee in towards your chest and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Bring that knee in towards your chest as you draw the right knee away. Flex through that left foot, spine long on the mat. And gently release that. Keep the foot crossed, but just plant the left foot. Scoot your hips towards the left a little bit and just gently draw the legs towards scooch the hips towards the right and drop the legs towards the left. Just so your pelvis is in line with your spine, and you're dropping those legs over towards the left, arms out to the sides, taking this for a little twist. And again, maybe there's a little drawing away of that knee away from your chest. Bring those legs back to center. Center out through your hips. And let's twist the other direction, but keep the legs as they are, just to see there's a little access into that outer hip. So scooch the legs towards the left and then drop the knees towards the right. You can move your left foot a little bit away from your sit bones a little bit. Just using the weight of the right leg on the outer left leg. Feel a little bit of a stretch here. Bring it back to center and uncross the leg, hugging the left knee in towards your chest, planting the right foot onto the mat. And grab a hold of your strap, hook the ball of that left foot, sending the heel up towards the ceiling. Any amount, it doesn't have to come all the way straight. You can wrap your hands around the strap a couple of times. That helps to kind of stabilize here. Flex through that left heel. And again, any amount, maybe you draw that leg towards your face. Or maybe it's further away. It does not matter. What matters is that you're feeling this in the back of the leg and you're breathing into that. Take both ends of that strap into your left hand. Float your right knee in line with your left. Same thing that we did on the first side, just opening up the legs out to the sides. Your right hand can come to the inner right thigh. Just opening up the legs, keeping the pelvis, the back of the pelvis nice and even on the mat. So the low back is even on the mat. Gently start to bring those legs back together. Plant the right foot onto the mat from deep within the hip socket. Just turn the left leg out 45 degrees. Cross that ankle over the right thigh. Move the strap out of the way. Maybe you stay here, gently pressing that left knee away from your chest. Flexing through that left foot. Keep the foot flexed. If you want to go deeper, interlace your hands behind your right thigh and bring that knee in towards your chest. And again, as you draw the right knee in, there's a gentle trying to draw the left knee away. Gently release the back of the thigh if you had it. Bring the arms out to the sides. Little scooch of the hips towards the left. Drop those legs towards the right. And again, maybe there's a little action of that knee, that left knee, drawing away from your chest just a little bit. Bring those legs back to center. Center out through the hips. Keep the foot crossed. Move those hips a little bit towards the right and drop the legs towards the left. You can move the right heel away from your sit bone a little bit. Just use the weight of your left leg on the right to kind of feel a stretch. Maybe the IT band, that like outer hip, side thigh area. Maybe a little bit in the glute. Gently bring that back to center, uncross the foot, hug both knees in towards your chest. And from here, rocking a little bit up and down the spine, making your way up to a seat, maybe with some momentum, or maybe you just rock to one side and come up. And come onto all fours, so hands and knees. Do 3 rounds of cat-cows, just starting to open up through the chest and warm up through the spine. Inhale, heart reaches forward, belly towards the mat. Exhale, round the spine, press the floor away from you. 2 more. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round. Find a neutral position for a moment. Low belly lifts, chest draws forward. Walk yourself back a little bit so you have more room at the front edge of your mat. You're going to keep your hips over your knees and just start to walk your hands forward. This is Anahatasana, or like heart chakra pose. You're trying to draw your chest towards the mat. Maybe you rest your forehead on the mat. And again, knees staying under the hips pretty much. And as you try to draw the chest down towards the floor, there's a little counteraction of the low belly lifting and the ribs coming into the body, just so you don't overdo this action. Big shoulder stretch, pressing evenly through both hands. Can you wrap your upper outer arms down? Gently bring it back up, please. All fours. From here, just step your right foot forward between the hands. This is where blocks might come in handy. Just taking like a frontal hip stretch here. So it's like a low lunge. Your hands maybe are on blocks to start. Low belly's lifting away from your thigh. Try to feel the stretch in that frontal hip, right, of the back leg. The more you upright your pelvis, the more you'll feel that. Like low belly lifts, frontal hip points lift. Maybe bring the hands onto the thigh and keep lifting through the low belly. You might feel it more in that psoas. Maybe you reach the arms up towards the sky. Upper outer arms wrap forward, opening through the upper back. Maybe the chest lifts, maybe the gaze, maybe the palms press. On an exhale, bring the hands down. Let's turn this into like half splits, is what they call it. So you're going to shift your hips back, flex through that right foot, and walk the blocks back with you. And I want your back hip to be over the knee. So maybe you have to walk the knee back a little bit. So I don't want you to like sit back in that back heel. I want there to be like a right angle between your thigh and the floor. And again, the more you lengthen through your spine, the more you'll feel this in the hamstring. From here, start to make your way back into that low lunge, maybe walking the back knee forward a little bit, blocks framing that front foot. And from here, very optional because it's huge, it's a big, big quad stretch. Maybe, you bend the back knee. Maybe you reach back Grab onto that foot. If you're kind of halfway between, like kind of reaching and it feels like kind of okay, you can bring a strap and wrap it around that foot, right? Just extend the arms that way. This way you'll feel a little more in the quad and that frontal hip flexor. Gently release that side. And coming onto all fours, your hands can stay on those blocks. Step the left foot forward. Let's do the other side. So coming into that low lunge first. So you can walk the back knee back a little bit. Your knee is over the ankle on the front foot. And descend low as you can as you lift the low belly. So frontal hip points lift. The more you can get your pelvis upright, the more you'll feel it in the belly of the muscle. Inner thighs drawing back. Maybe your hands come onto your thigh. And as your hands come onto the thigh, gently press that thigh away to lift yourself upright even more. So there's this thought that forward folding, touching your toes, all of that stuff is the point of things. It's not. The more length you can find through the spine, the more upright you can get your pelvis and almost anything. The more you'll feel this, the more you'll feel the stretch. And you won't round the spine. And bring your hands back on those blocks. If you've lifted the arms on the first side, we can go ahead and lift the arms on the second side as well. Outer upper arms wrap forward, lift through the chest. Low belly keeps lifting. Maybe you lift through the chest more and the palms press up above you. And then bring the hands down to those blocks. And you can walk the blocks back as you start to straighten through that front leg. Flex through that foot a lot. And walk your back knee back just a little bit so that your hip is lined up over the knee and you're not like sitting back in that back heel. So again, lengthen through the spine. Can you think of drawing the inner thighs back, lengthen, and lift through the chest? So no need to round here in order to feel the stretch, right? And then come back to that low lunge, maybe walking the back knee forward just a little bit, blocks framing your foot. And again, let's try that big quad stretch so you can bend the back knee. And you're opening the chest towards the left, so it's like a little twist here. Maybe you reach back and hold on to that foot. Again, if that's not happening, but you lifted the knee and you're like, it's almost there, you can bring a strap around that foot and grab onto that. I can show what that is on this side if you'd like. Just makes my arm a little longer if you're almost at the foot, but not quite. And gently release the hold of the foot if you had it. Bring yourself back onto all fours. You can move those blocks out of the way. And come to lie on your belly, please. So coming onto your belly, I'm going to take a big pec and shoulder stretch here so you're on your belly. Keep your left hand by your ribs to start. Extend your left arm out to the side. Then you're going to come onto your left hip. And you can stack your feet. It might feel more stable to step your right foot back behind you. And if your head is floating in space, you can bring like a blanket or a block underneath the head. And you should be feeling a big stretch in the front of the shoulder and the pec area. And gently come back onto your belly. Do the other side. So extend the right arm out to the side at the height of your shoulder, palm faces down, left hand by your low ribs, and then come onto your right hip, stacking the hips. Maybe you stack the feet. It might feel better to have the foot back behind you. Bring it back to center. press yourself up and come onto your back, please. From here, just hug your knees in towards your chest. Cross your right leg over the left. And see if you can scoop up your heels. Bring those knees in towards your chest. So the more that you kind of bring your shins kind of parallel to the mat, the more you'll feel this in the outer hip. Gently release that. Let's turn this into a twist again, scooching the hips towards the right, drop the legs towards the left. Gently bring it back to center, hug the knees in, releasing the cross, then cross the other way. So left leg over the right. See if you can scoop the heels and starting to almost like you're tying a bow. Lifting those heels up and out to the sides. Gently release the heels, scooching the hips a little bit towards the left, drop the legs towards the right. Simple twist. Gently bring it back to center, uncross the legs, hug those knees in towards your chest. Bring the feet flat on the mat. Arms down by your sides. Let's take 2 brief bridge poses here. Inhale, lift the hips up any amount. Your feet are hips distance, your knees are under or above your heels. I know you can't see them, but have a sense of what that is. Inner thighs draw down. Maybe you interlace your hands back behind you. Scooch the flesh of your shoulders under. Really press up through the chest. Nice big back bend. And gently release down. And we'll do that one more time. Arms down by your sides. You can lift the forearms away from the mat to start. Lift the hips up towards the sky. If you interlace the first time, switch the lacing this time. Scooch the flesh of your shoulders under the body. Lift the chest up. Inner thighs drawing down. Gently release the interlace and vertebra by vertebra. Bring it back down to the mat. Gently hug the knees in towards your chest. Take a brief happy baby, grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet, maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. And hug the knees in. And just extend the legs out onto the mat. Corpse pose for a brief moment. Inhale through the nose, hold it at the top. Exhale out the mouth. And if you can stay in corpse pose for longer, I encourage you to. If not, just start to move around a little bit, fingers and toes, lengthening the breath. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Extend your left arm up and back behind you. Rock to your left side, holding a fetal position for a breath. Prop yourself up to a comfortable seat, maybe sitting up on a blanket, on a block. Whatever seat is comfortable for you, taking stock of the work you did, so opening up the backs of the legs, the front of the legs, the hips, front, side, chest. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head, lift your heart. Deep gratitude for this body that carries you through life and for this practice that allows you to open up those locked spaces. Lift your head and open your eyes. Namaste. My name is Alessandra, and this is Fitscope. I hope to see you again soon.